yun, minove ko din lahat. Okay, so let's go to module 5. Wala muna baka may mag-raise hand or something. Teka lang. Okay. Hindi, may mga nawawala lang. Okay, so module 5 is managing food and beverage pricing. So this is basically the costing. Hindi ko na siya masyadong ganun pinahirapan kasi hirap na nga tayo sa life. So ang magiging atake natin will be simpler. So we have menu formats, factors affecting menu pricing, assigning menu pricing, and special pricing situations. Dito may discussion dito on paano ba pina-price yung buffet? Bakit hindi sila nalulugi or what? So there is a strategy for that and it's under special pricing situation. Okay, so menu formats usually must be standardized and they can either be cycle or daily. So merong mga karinderya, usually they do the cycle. So kung ngayon afritada, bukas kaldereta, at sa susunod gano'n. Hindi pa pwede na araw-araw meron yun. Pero although yung iba, kasi siguro baka bestseller nila, they put it always on their menu. Okay, pero usually ang gumagamit din ng cycle menu are yung mga hospitals, yan, naka-cycle menu sila dyan. Mga, yung may mga pinapakain, mga kampo, mga sa tawag dito, sa armed forces, etc. Usually they use a cycle menu kasi binabudget nilang maigi kung ano yung pinapakain nila. Yeah, tapos yung may mga pinapakain ng mga employees, okay, so usually the menu for the is naka-cycle. So many tip-ons, smaller menu segments clip on to more permanent menu. So there can be changes kasi yung parang naglalagay ka lang ng mga either suggestions. For example, ito yung ginawa mo ngayon. So to tweak, sa susunod, ito naman siya. The standard menu is fixed day after day. So if you have a standard, pwede naman natin siyang baguhin. And sometimes it really would really change depending on, syempre, if we're talking about the profitability or yung sales, hindi pa pwede nakastock lang tayo doon at hindi natin siya papakialaman. A cycle menu is a menu in effect for a specific time period. So you all know this. This has been discussed in your FNB. So usually it's, yung iba gumagawa 4-week cycle menu. So para for the whole month, magkakaiba talaga yung kanilang food na siniserve. So daily or weekly menu specials provide variety, low-cost raw ingredients. Usually low-cost, low ingredients kasi kung ano yung nasa market, yun ang nilalagay on the daily menu. Carry over utilization or test market potential for new menu items. Okay, so if they are testing some menu items, so more likely you'll see them on the daily menu, parang for tasting and for evaluation. So factors affecting menu pricing is the total revenue, and the total revenue is generated. So number of items sold times the price. So that will be your total revenue. As price increases, the number of items sold will generally decrease. So pag tumataas kasi yung presyo, syempre nababawasan yung na bebenta natin. So kaya kailangan maging wise tayo and smart in identifying yung pag-price natin ng menu items. So here, so syempre, at ito, katulad nito, pag kumonte yung number sold, so bababa si revenue. So this one, kasi madami yung hindi nagbabago yung price from for the first row. So for example, is $1 times 200. So that's automatically 200. Pero if we introduce a new price, tapos titignan natin din syempre kung ano yung number serve, ilan yung masiserve natin ng menu item na yon. Kung hindi na bago from this original na 200, hindi siya magbabago. Kahit itaas natin yung presyo, usually, nag-increase ito. So, pag bumaba yung number, kahit mataas yung presyo mo, bumaba naman yung sold items mo, so hindi nagbabago yung ating total revenue. Pero if bago natin yung price, pero dumami pa rin yung ating sales, so that would mean an increase. Pero kung we have a new price, tapos kumonte, so definitely there will be a decrease in the total revenue. So pinakita lang natin na yung pricing would really affect, of course, the total revenue. So factors affecting menu pricing, so we have local competition. So 'di ba sa market study, kailangan titignan mo ano ang meron sa market, sino yung competitors ko. Are there direct, are there indirect competitors or parang generic competitors lang ba sila? So you have to identify. But in marketing, usually ang tinitignan natin will be our direct competitors. Yung as in parehong service, ganun yun eh, parehong service at parehong product. Okay? For example, si Jollibee, ang direct competitor niyan talaga will be will be McDonald's because they really have the same setup, the same product. Okay, so it's a fast food. They are same fast food. So they are direct competitors. Eh ma'am, paano po si KFC? KFC, medyo indirect na siya. Although they have the same service, but their products are somewhat different. Kunyari yung burgers, hindi naman burgers ang main product ni KFC. It's more of the chicken. Although, sasabihin natin, ma'am, si Jollibee kasi chicken yung kinakain ko doon. Yes, pero Jollibee usually started as burgers. Okay, so kaya hindi siya gano'n. Pero somewhat, because of the service also, yon medyo nasa, parang semi-indirect siya na competitor. Wait lang ah. Nasa yung pera, di ba? Binigay ni mama. Binigay sa'yo ni mama. Hindi, binawi ba niya?
Hindi ka sabot lang niya. Sa bag.
Sa kanya lahat yun.
Yung 1,095 yata.
Oo, sa kanya lahat yun. Lahat ng darating na Lazada. Narinig, Lazada. Lazada yung pinag-uusapan na. Nanay ko nawili mag-Lazada din ako. Okay? Saan ba yan? So yeah, when we're talking about competitors, you have to identify sino yung direct competitors ninyo. Okay? Then the service level. So service level, ano ang klase ng service? Are you going to do the fast food? Ngayon, usok-uso, syempre, yung yung mga orders and delivery na. So sa mga menu. Make sure that yung pagpapresyo ninyo kasama, yung iba kasi kaya nag-free delivery, more likely naka-embed or nakakasama na doon sa kanilang pricing yung transportation. So guest type, we're talking about price sensitivity. Pagka guest type, siyempre, sino ang target market mo? Sino ang market niche mo? Sino ang members nun? So, sino ang magiging part nun? If yung lagi ko nga sinasabi when I talk about guest, syempre hindi ka pa pwede magbenta ng steak na pagkamahal-mahal, tapos ang target mo will be students. So you have to check sino yung mga target market mo. Yung estudyante, magkano ba ang capacity and willingness to purchase ng estudyante? Unang-una capacity, meron bang pera yan? Magkano ba ang usual na allowance ng estudyante? So that is one factor that you have to take into consideration. Okay, you have to be sensitive in adjusting your prices based on the guest type or based on your target market. Of course, menu pricing would always be based on product quality. So, ano ba ang kalidad ng produkto? Okay, baka there are restaurants na medyo parang masyadong ina-upgrade yung wordings or ina-upgrade yung tawag dun sa pagkain. Tapos pag sinerve sa'yo, ito lang pala yun. So, then the quality is does not stay kung ano or does not say anything about the product itself. Okay, portion size. So, that's also the reason bakit may institutional or quantity food production kasi we try to standardize the portion size. Meron meron to doon sa libro. I'm not sure if it's in your FNB book na meron akong tinitignan lagi dito na if soup, ganito dapat yung timbang or ganito yung kadami niya, half cup, etc. Kung salad, ganito yung kadami. So, it will depend. Meron po kasing standard size dito. Kaya minsan nagugulat tayo eh. Ang mahal-mahal tapos kakaperanggot lang talaga. Although, there are some restaurants na ganun talaga. Kasi, yung mga, di ba, lalo na pag mamahalin yung restaurant, sabihin natin, ang konti ng pagkain, tapos ang mahal-mahal. Kasi, syempre, there are other factors na ginagamit nila for the pricing. Like, the ambience could add to that. Okay, so merong dagdag si ambience when we talk about pricing also. Kasi yung setup nila, etc. Okay, so the meal period can also affect the pricing. So, Sabi ko nga, kunyari, your target market are students. So, ano ba yung meal period na lagi silang kumakain? So, maybe you can adjust the prices there kasi they can go, kunyari, lunch, hindi naman pa pwedeng hindi sila magla-lunch. So, you can adjust your prices or your menu pricing strategy there. Okay, location is also a factor. Kasi yung cost ng location is also part on your menu pricing. So usually, di ba, kung matatandaan natin yung costing, meron tayong tinatawag ng mga buffer margin. Kasi meron tayong other expenses na pwedeng doon nakukuha, doon natin kinukuha or doon natin ginagamit. Okay, and the sales mix. So mixture of who, sino, kailan, and etc. ang mga bumibili ng product. Okay, so usually sales mix would refer to the specific menu item selected by guest. Sales mix will most heavily influence the menu pricing decision. Okay, so ano yung mga mabenta? Dito nakikita din natin kasi kung ano yung mabenta, yung maraming nag-order, ano yung malaki ang benta or malaki yung kinikita natin or tinutubo natin. So dito natin nakikita. Then, in general, pag pinag-usapan natin sales mix, we're talking about profitability and the popularity of food items. Okay, price blending refers to the process of pricing products with very different individual cost percentages in groups with the intent of achieving a favorable overall cost situation. Okay, so price blending, dapat ma-identify natin kung ano yung mga products na pare-parehas lang yung halos sales natin or kinikita natin. So this one are examples of unblended price structure and the blended price structure. So, yung sa first example, so lahat ay naka-food cost na 40. So, kung natatandaan pa, na-review si costing, paano ba natin kino-compute yung selling price if we're going to use the food cost? Okay, so that's 100% over 40%. So, you'll get a factor that is 2.5. So, then you multiply it with the item cost. So, hopefully, natatandaan pa yan kasi hindi yung pwedeng makalimutan talaga yan. Okay, so this is unblended. So, pinagsama-sama niya lahat ng mga presyo na lahat ng mga presyo na ang ginamit ay isang klase lang ng food cost percentage. Okay, dun sa pangalawa, so blended. So, iba-iba. May items na mataas yung kanyang food cost percentage, meron din items na mababa yung kanyang food cost percentage. But nevertheless, medyo similar lang din yung magiging kalabasan kasi yung item cost naman is pareho. Okay, pero yun, ginamitan niya ng mas mataas na food cost percentage yung item na mas mataas din. Okay, ang nangyayari kasi sa food cost percentage, mas mataas yung percentage, mas mababa yung multiplier or yung factor. So that's, for example, if that's 100 over 60.2, so that's 1 point something lang. Kaya hindi ganon kataas yung magiging selling price. Excuse. Although, kung medyo small ang business, usually we don't use the food cost percentage in your pricing strategy. We don't use the food cost percentage in small business o yung mga start-up business pa lang kasi you are trying to introduce the product. So, in marketing, we call this, ewan ko kung na-discuss na sa inyo, it's market skimming or market penetration. These are two pricing strategies na ginagamit ng mga bagong businesses. Okay, so hopefully, sana na-i-discuss yan. Or if you have watched na yung webinar na shinare ko, so I discussed this one already. So, syempre, hindi ko na siya i-discuss ngayon. Panoorin nyo na lang yung replay. Okay, so here is a sample sales mix data. So, usually yan, you identify kung ano ang ito yung pag-identifyan niya nito, yung mga food cost percentage. So, number of sold, item cost, total cost of food sold. To get the total cost of food sold, I think this is part of your learning task. To get the total food cost, so you just have to multiply the number sold times the item cost. So, food cost, yan yung presyo nung nagastos dun sa pagkain. So, pag sinabing total sales, yan naman yung presyo nung or yan yung total nung selling price. Pag sales, we're pertaining to, of course, the selling price. If food costs were pertaining to yung base cost or magkano ang nagagastos. So total sales, that will be 2.49 times 92. A number of items sold times the selling price is total sales. Number of items sold times the item cost is total food cost. So to get the food cost percentage, you just have to divide the total food cost over the total sales. Okay? So again, to get the total food cost, you have to multiply total number sold times the item cost to get the total sales, so that's selling price times number sold, and to get the food cost percentage, that is total food cost over the total sales, that times 100 para maging percentage siya. So that will be the food cost percentage. So assigning menu prices, product cost, percentage or pricing factor, and the contribution margin. So kanina pa natin pinag-uusapan si food cost percentage. So ito yung factor, ito yung table ng mga factors na sinasabi ko. So yan yung ginagamit natin, malimit is 40%. So ang magiging factor natin will be 2.5. So ito yung sinasabi ko din, na pag mas mababa yung food cost percentage, mas tumataas yung factor, mas nagiging mahal yung selling price. Pero ito, 45, so mas mababa siya. Mas mababa din. Mas mataas yung cost percentage, mas bumababa din syempre yung factor. So hindi ganun kataas ang magiging selling price. So in the food industry, usually we use 40%. 40 to 45, dyan naglalaro. Pag nag-50, pwede, 50, medyo mas better, kaya na medyo mas maliit na yung magiging revenue. Kasi 100 divided by 50 will be only 2. So, magiging factor mo is only 2. So, the formula for computing food cost percentage, ito, inulit lang niya. Okay, cost of food sold over the food sales, that's your food cost percentage. So, sa specific menu item, yun na yung, ito kasi total. We're talking about the total. So, we're talking ito dito sa ilalim. Okay? So, pagka per food item, yan, dito siya per hamburger, fries, etc. Okay? Food cost percentage, pwede natin siyang ibahin. Yung formula, iikot lang to get the selling price of that food item. So, cost of a specific food item sold and over the food cost percentage of that item, that will be your selling price. So, for example, this is 100 over, yung iba kasi hindi nagde-decimal na eh. 100 over 40%. So, naka-percent. So, be careful again with your calculators. Okay, so ito, mangyayari dito is 100 over the 100 over the food cost in percentage ang ginagamit. Okay, this is also food cost percentage. Yung iba ganito yung pag-compute. Pero yung iba gumagamit usually ng factor. So, yung factor natin yan, yung table natin na yan. So pricing factor or multiplier can be assigned to each desired food cost percentage as follows. So 100 over the desired product cost percentage equals the pricing factor. So ito yung kanina na late lang siya. Ito siya. So 100 over 20 is 5, 100 over 40 is 2.5. Ito lang yung computation of the pricing factor. So, sabi ko nga, ito yung ginagawa natin sa costing. So, you have your factor already times the product cost that will be your selling price or your menu price. So, here we have the contribution margin. Magkano ba ang ambag? Kunyari, yung hamburger, magkano yung ambag niya dun sa kinikita natin daily? So, we're talking about profit here. So, selling price minus the food cost is the contribution margin. Okay, for example, yung product, binenta mo siya ng 100, ang nagastos mo or the product cost is 80, so the contribution margin is nasa 20 pesos lang siya. So, yun yung ambag niya for the total sales. So, syempre, isang item lang, paano kung marami? So, we're talking about, syempre, not naman a single or individual food item lang. So, when we're talking about the contribution margin, so pwede rin siya to identify the selling price. So, the product cost ito yung total cost ng recipe, di ba? Ganun natin tinitignan siya sa costing. Plus the contribution margin. If you have a history na, pagka may record ka na, kasi syempre hindi naman natin basta makita kung ano yung appropriate na contribution margin. Pwede tayo mag-identify ng desired contribution margin, pero medyo mahirap kasi mahirap siyang laruin. Syempre yung menu hindi naman natin pwedeng araw-araw palitan o tumaas yung palitan. So kaya kailangan na-identify or na-aral maigi yung contribution margin desired. Then that will be your selling price. The goal here is to set a good price or value relationship in the mind of the customers. Okay, the selling price selected must provide for predetermined operational profit. So ito yung sinasabi ko, kailangan naaral siya, kailangan na-identify natin kasi doon natin bibase yan, operational profit, yung budget, and etc. So there are special pricing situations. So value pricing, this refers to the practice of reducing prices on selected menu items in the belief the total guest counts will increase to the point that total sales revenue also increase. Kaya ito yung mga, syempre, parang discount pricing na siya. Okay, so you have discounts and all. So depende, para ma-boost or para maipakilala or para mas maibenta lang yung specific food item, so ginagamit yung value pricing. So yung bundling would refer to selecting specific menu items and pricing them as a group. Ito yung mga group packages, di ba? Greenwich yan, mahilig si Greenwich sa ganyan. Yung mga pizza, chicken, make fries, etc. So that's also included as a special pricing situation. The difficulty in establishing a set price for either a salad bar or buffet. So ito yung sa mga buffet, paano ba hindi sila nalulugi? Paano nila na-identify magkano yung presyo? Is that the total portion cost can vary greatly from one guest to the next. Siyempre mag-iiba yun. Kunyari ayoko ng itong pagkain na to, hindi ako kukuha niyan. Kung ano yung favorite ko, parang kayo, di ba? If you wanted, di ba pag nagbo-buffet, hanapin mo kung ano yung favorite mo. And na-assess ko na to sa mga tour. So, ang favorite ng mga HM, mga shrimp, ganyan, tempura, yan yung mga mabenta. Okay? Kasi sabi ko nga, pag tayo ko ngayon wala nagluluto, pag tayo ko ulit mamaya nagluluto pa rin. Kasi kakaubos lang. Okay? So, they have a secret in pricing their buffets para medyo mababa or parang mukhang mababa. So, A items, if you remember the inventory, ABC, so yung mga mas mamahal na items, usually it's not more than 20% of the total product available. Kaya tignan nyo, di ba, pag naglalabas sila ng prawn tempura, kukonti-konti lang. Okay, kukonti-kontiin lang nila yan. Hindi sila basta maglalabas ng marami. Pero yung mga food items nila na naka-classify as B or C, medyo mas madami yung nakalabas or naka-display. Okay? Meron nga, di ba, yung iba, parang yung mga roast beef nila, usually, magbibigay sila sa'yo isang slice lang. Kung hindi mo pa sabihin ng dagdagan, hindi nila dadagdagan. Okay, so these are the classified as A items, so medyo mas mamahal. Okay, so usually yon, not more than 20% ang sa buong buffet selection, not 20% ng mga total items doon ang available. So, in pricing buffet, so total buffet product cost over the guest served. So, this equals to the buffet product cost per guest. So, to illustrate, ito siya. Okay, so meron siyang category. So, sweet and sour pork is A, bean sprouts and egg rolls are B. These are usually parang mga sides lang. Then, this one is rice. Kaya, di ba, rice, open ang rice. Ang rice cooker nila, malaki, nandoon nakalagay. Then, yan, fried rice, steamed rice, wonton soup. Okay? So, usually yan, si A, isang nakita natin, isang klase lang siya. For example, ito yung sa salad bar nila or sa mga, hindi naman to salad bar, yung buffet products nila. So, for example, ito, because mas mahal ang unit cost, like this one, is 4.40. Dahil mas mahal ang unit cost niya, so they are classified sweet and sour pork as A. So, category A. So, isa lang siya. For the whole buffet table, isa lang siya. Okay? Pero ito, dahil yung rice, steamed rice, and wonton, medyo mas mura. Ito kasi per gallon siya, hindi lang per pound. So, dahil mas mura yung cost niya, so mas madami yung naka-classified as C. So, yung B, yung mga middle price, so yan, dalawang food items lang siya. Kaya nakikita natin sa buffet kung ano yung mga mamahal nila na mga items, usually yun doon nung merong mga tumatao or nagbabantay at sineserve sa'yo pakonti-konti. Hindi yung parang katulad ng ibang food items na katulad ng rice, you get all you want, 'di ba? So yun, may mga control sila, control measures. So if you're going to total this, so it's 305 and they have a number of guests served, so it's 125. So dinivide lang yung total na nagastos over that guest served, so that the cost per guest will be $2.44. Okay? Kaya lang minsan talaga sa buffet, depende rin kasi talaga sa klase ng guest. Okay, merong guest talaga na alam na natin, grabe talaga kumain. Merong mga guest naman na yung saktong titikman lang lahat, matikman lang, pero yung iba talaga makain lahat. So, depende. Okay? So, ganyan po yung ginagawa sa buffet. So, you try to, if you go in a buffet, try to observe yung mga, sabi ko, yung mga mamahalin na food items, hindi sila full blast ng labas niyan. Tapos, ilan-ilan. Kumbaga, ito yung mga highlights kasi nung buffet. So, ito yung mga highlights ng buffet, kaya controlled maigi. Okay? So, Module 6 is planning for profit. So, kanina pa natin nag-uusapan contribution margin, popularity, magkano yung kita. So, ito siya. So, menu analysis would involve marketing, sociology, psychology, and emotions. Okay, guests respond best to menu item descriptions, the placement of items on the menu, their price, and their current popularity. So, tinitignan nila yan. Identified lagi kung ano yung popular na food item sa'yo. So, you expect na yun ang talagang mas magiging mabenta. Remember that the guests don't respond to financial analysis. Wala silang pakialam dyan sa financial analysis mo. Kahit kung ano man yung kinikita ka or hindi. Basta kung ano yung popular, kung ano yung gusto nila, yun ang masusunod. So the three most popular systems of menu analysis. So we have food cost percentage, contribution margin, and goal value analysis. Pero more often, ang ginagamit is the cost percentage and the contribution margin. Okay, the matrix analysis provides a method for comparisons between menu items. So I'll show you the matrix later. So I think meron yan doon. Last sem pala yun, meron yan, yung matrix. Okay, a matrix allows menu items to be placed into categories based on whether they are above or below menu item averages for factors such as food cost, popularity, and contribution margin. So here are the three methods of menu analysis. So food cost percentage, we're talking about food cost percentage, ilang persento ang kinikita per food item, and its popularity or gaano kadami ang nag-order nung food item na yon. Okay, so there is a matrix na ginagamit. So pag sinabi matrix, parang ipa-plot mo siya, parang graph. Okay, so ang goal of the food cost percentage is to minimize overall food cost percentage. So sa contribution margin, we're talking about contribution margin and the popularity. Basically, contribution margin, yan yung sinasabi ko kanina, magkano yung ambag ng isang food item dun sa total sales. Magkano yung kinikita natin per plate of burger, per plate of fries, magkano yung kinikita natin. So that is the contribution margin. Yung isa kasi, food cost percentage, we're talking about percentages. Okay, gaano kataas or gaano kababa, yung percentage na ginagamit. And of course, nandiyan pa rin si popularities. Food cost percentage and contribution margin are somewhat similar. They are almost similar and they use the matrix. I'll show you the matrix later. Okay, goal value analysis, contribution margin percent, popularity, selling price, variable cost percentage, and food cost percentage. So usually, hindi na masyadong ginagamit to kasi masyado siyang mahirap and tedious sa kitchen kung gagawin pa ang goal value analysis. Okay, food cost percentage method, the operator seeks menu items that have the effect of minimizing overall food cost percentage. Para kung paano mapababa yung food cost percentage. The contribution margin, wait lang. Ano naman problema nito? Wait lang ah. Naiirita ako. Okay, so contribution margin approach, the operator seeks to produce a menu that maximizes the overall contribution margin. Hindi na nasana yata yung mga aso sa tagal nang hindi ako na masyado nag-online class. Okay, so here is a menu analysis worksheet. So this is more of the, pwede siyang food cost percentage and the contribution margin. Saan yun? Yeah. Okay? So, always remember, if you're going to do a menu analysis, kailangan pare-parehos po yung mga food items. Hindi pa pwede yung soup ihalo mo sa mga main entree. Hindi pa pwede yung dessert is nakahalo. So, here, these are all entree. So, strip steak, coconut shrimp, grilled tuna, chicken breast, lobster stir fry, scallop pasta, and beef medallions. Okay? So, you have to have a record of the number. So, ilan yung nabenta mo for the total, for all the menu items. So, meron tayong record. So, a total for a week. So, this is 1 week. Kasi 1 to 7 siya. This is 1 week. So, there are total 700 sold of the different menu items. Kailangan kasi natin malaman yung total or the total number sold. Kailangan natin siya. Then, here is the selling price of each particular item. So again, to get the total sales, that will be the total number sold times the selling price. Okay, so that will be, for example, that's 17.95 times 73. So, yan po yung total sales natin. Then we should also have a record of the item cost. So yung item cost is 8.08. So the total cost will be 73 again, total number sold times the item cost, 8.08. Ay, 73 times 8.08. So it's 589.84. Again, the total cost, ito, pagkaiba lang yung column nauna lang kasi yung sa sales. Okay, so this one is the total cost, item cost times the total number sold. Okay, so paano makuha yung item contribution margin? Item lang, specific item. So you just have to subtract, ulitan ba to? Wait lang, ulitan ko siya. Hihirapan ako. Okay, so here we have 17.95 minus the total, minus the item cost, 8.08. This will be your item contribution margin. Ibig sabihin, for strip steak, ang isang order would give you a kita or a profit of 9.87. So, pag sinabing total contribution margin, so pag total, we're pertaining to the total also. So, that will be 1310.35 minus 589.84. So, 720.51. That is the total contribution margin. Ibig sabihin, dahil nakabenta tayo ng 73 of the strip steak, kaya yung 73 na yon, kumita tayo ng 720.51. Okay, so for the food cost percentage, to get the food cost percentage, wait lang, painom lang. Wait lang. Okay, to get the food cost percentage, you just have to divide your, saan ba ako? Your item cost, pwede siyang item cost, over the selling price or pwedeng total cost over the selling price. Halos pare-parehas lang to eh. So we have 8.08. So that's the item cost over 17.95. So that's 45 so times 100 para maging percent. So 45% yung food cost percentage natin. So that's how you get this food cost percentage. Okay, actually, wait, nasa na yan? Yan. If we're talking about contribution margin itself, yan, we're talking about ito, number sold and the contribution margin. So, yan yung usually na pinaplot natin dun sa matrix. Ayan na siya. Okay, gaano kadami? The number sold kasi will tell you how popular the dish is. So, for this one, ang pinaka-popular is the chicken breast. Okay, popular siya. Pero if you're going to take a look at the item contribution margin, sino ang pinakamalaking kita ang binibigay? So, it's coconut shrimp. So, 11.86. So, siya ang pinakamataas na contribution margin. Okay? So, pero yon, if food cost percentage naman ang gagamitin, so ito yung number sold natin. Okay? So, chicken breast pa rin ang pinakamataas. Then, yung pinakamataas na food cost percentage is 51%. So, this is lobster stir fry. So, yung dalawang values na yun naman ang gagamitin pag sinabi sa food cost percentage ang gagamitin natin. Like, the one na sinabi niya dito. So, nasa isang table lang sila. And we can use all of this yon in identifying or analyzing our menu items. So, to continue, so yan siya. So, may mga total lang. And this is the average. Puro weighted average lang siya. So, you... so, 700... Yan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because we have 7 types of items, so 700 divided by 7 is 100. So that is the weighted average. This one, you have to get the total, then average divided by 7 also. Ito, same, ganun lang din. Yung may mga averages. Okay? So to analyze a menu using the food cost percentage, you must separate menu items based on 2 variables. So you get the popularity or the number sold, then the food cost percentage. So ito yung tinatawag na matrix. This is similar. Parehas sila parehas lang sila ng ginagamit. Okay, so high food cost, ibig sabihin mataas yung food cost percentage, then pero mababa yung kanyang sales or low ang popularity. So dito siya sa quadrant 1. So kung parehong mataas ang food cost percentage, then high ang popularity, dito siya sa quadrant 2. So low food cost percentage and low yung popularity, mababa na yung benta, mababa yung food cost percentage, mababa pa yung popularity niya. So dito siya. Then the low food cost percentage and high popularity. So mababa yung food cost percentage niya pero mabenta siya, ibig sabihin. So dito siya sa quadrant 4. The characteristic of the menu items that fall into each of the 4 matrix squares are unique and thus should be marketed differently. So they have different marketing approach and they have may mga equivalent sila na kailangan gawin para yung iba ma-boost yung popularity, yung iba yung food cost percentage. Okay, so these are suggestions on marketing strategy. So high food cost percentage, low popularity, marginal due to both high product cost and lack of sales. So mataas yung product cost, pero hindi naman siya mabenta. So usually you remove this from the menu or consider current food trends, palitan yung menu item or parang medyo i-revise and i-standardize again. The survey guests determine current ones regarding this item. So baka hindi talaga siya ganun gusto. So high food cost and high popularity, ito wala tayong problema dito. Dahil popular siya, pwede natin i-increase yung price. Okay? So, or pwede siyang yan, ilagay sa bundle, pwede siyang medyo wag yung sabi ko nga may psychology of menu eh. So you check there, meron mga food items na pwedeng parang medyo tago mo siya ilalagay. Hindi tago na hindi makikita, kundi hindi yung dun sa focal position ng mata pag tinignan yung menu item. Kasi kahit hindi siya nakikita doon, still mabebenta pa rin siya kasi nga popular siya. So pag low food cost percentage and low popularity, so relocate the menu to greater visibility. Pero others would eliminate this because it is an unpopular, tinatanggal na siya. The low food cost percentage and high popularity. So kailangan dito more marketing strategy. Sikat naman kasi yung item, kaya lang hindi siya masyadong ganon kalaki ang binibigay na kita. For the contribution margin per menu item, so usually ito yung mas maganda kasi straightforward yung kanyang approach. We're talking about the sales and we're talking about the number of food items sold. So selling price minus the food product cost is the contribution margin per menu item. Okay, required, mandated daw kami manood. Virtual graduation later. Mukhang sana kayo umabot sa physical graduation. Okay, so menu analysis to determine the total contribution margin. So ito yung pinakita ko kanina. You have the total sales minus the total product cost. So isusubtract lang natin that the total contribution margin is the number of items sold over the total number of items sold. That's your average contribution margin per item. So ito siya. Item contribution margin, we're talking about the sales, and the popularity is the number of items sold. A contribution margin is the amount that you will have available to pay for your labor and other expenses and to keep for your profit. Kaya tinitignan, ito yung sinasabi ko, straightforward, na nakikita natin magkano yung kinikita. Kaya hindi yung percentage values lang of the food cost percentage. When contribution margin is the driving factor in analyzing a menu, the two variables used for the analysis are contribution margin and item popularity. So this is yung matrix naman niya. So high contribution margin, low popularity, high contribution, high popularity, low contribution, high popularity, and low contribution, low popularity. May papakita ko later pa, magbabago ko ng screen. Each of the menu items that fall in the squares requires a special marketing strategy, same as dun sa food cost percentage. So, ito siya. So, high contribution margin, low popularity. You relocate on menu for greater visibility. Ilagay mo siya na yung pagbukas ng menu or pagtingin sa menu, siya yung magiging focal point. Okay? So, para mas sumikat siya or mas nakikita. Or try ibaba yung contribution, yung kanyang selling price para baka sakali or mag-sale or special value pricing or bundle pricing, pwede siya. So high contribution margin, usually wala tayong problema dyan kasi kaya niya yung sarili niya. Okay, kaya niyang kumita at kaya niyang maging sikat. Okay, so you just have to promote it well to maintain its high contribution margin and popularity. So, pag low contribution margin, mahina yung kita, tapos mahina pa yung popularity, usually yan, same lang yung kanina, you remove it from the menu. Okay? So, pero pwede siya i-consider special occasionally, pero mas mataas yung menu price niya. Okay, so low contribution margin and high popularity. Ito yung mga products na sikat, pero hindi masyadong malaki yung benta or kita natin. So, we can increase the price kasi sikat naman siya. And tapos, hindi natin siya kailangan ilagay doon sa focal part of the menu kasi sikat naman na siya. Or maaaring yung restaurant is sikat sa kanya, then you just have to tweak or reassess your pricing strategy. So, ito po, nandito sa article, ito yung ginagamit for the contribution margin. Ito yung pinaka-equivalent ng matrix. So, in the restaurant business, we call our products based on this quadrant. So, merong star. Ito yung mataas ang kita, tapos sikat pa. Kaya yung horse, usually maliit ang kita natin, pero sikat siya. So, kaya nga dahil maliit yung kita, pero high popularity siya. So, what we have to do is to reassess the pricing. Okay, yun muna talaga. Then this one is the puzzle. So mahina yung kita, puzzle is malaki yung kita natin pero low popularity. So you have to relocate it in your menu. And this one is a dog. So ito yung usually tinatanggal natin. Maliit yung profitability and maliit yung popularity. Okay, paano po natin malalaman yan? Paano natin malalaman kung ano yung paano ipa-plot siya? So, siya na yun. For example, for this one, okay, ang highest natin, for example, ang highest natin dito, ito is 140. So, mataas ang popularity niya. Pero, hindi naman ganun kataas yung kanyang contribution margin kasi meron tayo 11.86 and 11.36. So, ibig sabihin, ang average kasi natin is 10.83. So, anything that would go above 10.83, ibig sabihin, mataas ang kanyang contribution margin. So, for this one, yung number of items natin, ang average natin dito is 100. Okay, so base tayo sa weighted average. So, 100 dito. So, dahil yung chicken breast, mataas. So, above. So, ibig sabihin, mataas ang kanyang popularity. So, high popularity. Ngayon, dahil ito, tumaas pa rin siya kahit papano, mataas ang kanyang contribution margin. So, 10.88 kasi mas mataas siya dito sa average. So, if you're going to plot it here, mataas ang profitability and mataas ang popularity. So, dito siya sa quadrant na to pupunta or sa star. Okay, for example, yung strip steak natin, 73. So, mababa ang kanyang popularity kasi 100 yung average natin. So, mababa ang kanyang popularity. Tapos, mababa din ang kanyang contribution margin kasi 10.83 yung ating average. So, that's 9.87. So, mababa siya. So, if we're going to plot that here, dito siya babagsak sa dog. So, low ang profitability and low ang popularity. So, we have to remove it from the menu or think of something na pwede natin sa kanyang ipalit to either increase the profitability and the low popularity. Okay, so ganun po natin pinaplot ito. So same with the yan, kaya meron siyang mga weighted average. Okay. So dito, ang matataas na popularity is coconut shrimp, grilled tuna, chicken breast, and beef medallions. The scallops, lobster fry, and the strip steak, mababa ang kanya lang popularity. For the contribution margin, ang mataas lang will be chicken breast and coconut shrimp and scallops pasta. So the rest malahat mababa ang contribution margin. Okay, so yan. Titignan nyo lang siya based on the average. Based on the average, itong weighted average na 110.83. Pag it goes above the average, ibig sabihin mataas. Pag it goes below of the average, so mababa siya. So, it's either low yung contribution margin or low yung kanyang popularity. So, you just have to plot. Katulad nito, scallops pasta. Oh. Malaki yung kanyang, ito, coconut shrimp is good kasi mataas yung number sold niya, mataas din yung kanyang contribution item, so it's a star. Pero ito, mataas yung kanyang kita, item contribution margin, mataas yung kita sa kanya, 11.36, pero yung kanyang number of items sold is 85. So if you're going to plot that, low popularity, pero high profitability, so dito siya banda sa puzzle. Okay, so that is the matrix that's being used in assessing or analyzing the menu items. Okay, any questions po? So those are the last two modules. I-rundown ko lang din si module, ang daming kalat ng aking desktop. Si module 7. Ay, mali. Kung changing. Okay, dito, yan. So this is, sabi ko nga, this is more on descriptions na meron dito, how to describe your menu items. So yung mga makukuha nyo pong menu, pwede nyo ibahin kasi yung descriptions niya, wordings. So you can use the suggestions here. Meron to dito, di ba, yung words. Ito, wala na tong learning task kasi nandito yung final requirement. Ayan. So, you can use this one, yung mga words dito in revising your menu. Okay? Yan. So, sabi ko nga, I'm more particular with the design and the wordings. Okay, yung description of the menu, kung paano mapapaganda yung isang menu. So, itong mga iba, yung may mga pictures ng menu are just suggestions on how to create a better menu. Umpisa nito. Nasaan na umpisa? 3, 2, 1. Okay. So this is menu hacks. Menu hacks to make sure. Okay, so they know the value of a strong first impression. So yung mga una nila nakikita, yun ang medyo pumupukaw kasi yung mata nila. So make sure na yung malalagay nyo doon sa position in your menu is sila yung talagang mataas or naka-classified as stars. Okay, they analyze your reading patterns. So yan, meron tinitignan kasi yan. Ang mga ano, di ba, tayo kasi nasanayan natin na pag appetizer, syempre nasa umpisa. Pagka dessert na sa bandang dulo or sa last page, parang ganon. Okay, emphasize certain menu items if, di ba nakikita naman natin, hindi lahat ng menu items may pictures. Kasi ibig sabihin, kung ano yung pinipictures nila, yun ang hina-highlight kasi nila. Ibig sabihin, it can be their best-selling products or yun yung talagang gusto nilang mabenta. Okay, so the use of colors influence your feelings. So take note about the use of different colors also in your menu. Meron kasing mga meaning ang different colors. Okay, whether or not photographs or dishes will, they use photos sparingly. Okay, kasi description would be nicer. Ayan. So, minsan konti lang talaga yung pictures na nandoon. So, use descriptive language. So, meron tayo dito. May binigay ako dito sa part na to ng mga descriptive words that you can use in your menu. Okay, they make you feel nostalgic for your old family favorites. So, syempre yung mga tayo, lalo na tayo, if pag ang usapan is Filipino cuisine, so kung ano yung mga favorite natin na Filipino cuisine, yun ang hanapin natin. Then, they don't use dollar signs, so usually walang mga peso signs. Okay. Friendly numbers. Ayan, ito yung sinasabi ng psychology pricing, yung paggamit ng 0.99. Okay, 0.99, 0.95, yung hindi siya mabubuo. Hindi siya mabubuo na whole numbers kasi feeling natin mas mura yon kahit 0.01 or 0.05 lang. Feeling natin mas mura siya. Okay, so principles in restaurant menu design. So we have yung sizing. Okay, so depende. So columns will make a statement kasi mas nakikita siya as mas maayos tignan. Okay, placement affects visual appeal. So ano yan? Usually, sinasabi ko nga starters to first course, to second course, to desserts. Okay, emphasis draws attention. So minsan meron tayong mga specialty or specialty of the house. Ilagay mo siya sa highlighted na box, etc. Okay, proportion signifies choice. Okay, so yung pag-break nung paglalagay ng menu items is important. And of course, balance is beauty. So, ito na yung mga different descriptive words. So, that's for Module 7. Dito kasi more on designs lang itong dito. Okay, it's all in your ano naman. So, more on suggestions kasi ito and tips on creating your menu. Okay, so pag describe ng menu ninyo is also written here. And may mga sample siya. Brand names can be used. So, pero make sure that the brands that ginagamit niyo is yun ang ginagamit. Yes po. Nawawala ba?
Wala pong nakapresent.
Ay, wala ba?
Opo.
Potek.
Kanina pa po.
Sorry Pala, ni-stop ko pala, Box. Okay. So, ito siya. Yan. Meron na. Ulit. Sige.
Meron na
Okay,
po.
so yan. So these are, yun guys. Module 7 are more of not suggestions on how to do your menu. Okay? So, yan, yung paggawa ng descriptions, kasi yung pag-describe natin ng mga menu items, syempre yun ang mas nakakaano ng attention or choice ng ating mga guests. So, bigyan natin sila ng magandang description. So, dito, yan, name of the dish and the ingredients. So, there are suggestions on how to do. So, chicken pot pie, paano siya i-describe. There are merong suggested order, may reverse order. May mga samples naman na nakalagay dito on how you can describe your dish. Okay? Yan, meron siya. Strawberry sorbet, Hidden Valley Fruit Farm Strawberry. So you can use kasi brands in your menu. Pwede naman yung brands. Basta make sure that the brands that you're going to use in your descriptions are really the brands that you're going to use in your products. Okay, deviled eggs, Buffony farm eggs, bacon lardon, and crispy shallots. Diba? Short rib, soy, braised, blackbird farm short rib, shiitake, and snappy risotto. Okay. May nakita ko magandang ganito sa if you have already ate there sa Gourmet Garage. Okay, medyo maarte and maganda yung paggawa nila ng description. Okay, shashuka, farm egg, baked in sauce of sweet tomatoes, chilies, and smoky cumin. Okay, so blistered shishito peppers. Blistered pero grilled lang naman siya, pero blistered yung nilagay niya, di ba? Okay, so you can provide a backstory. Okay, summer corn, keme. Just like Grandma Dot. So, ibig sabihin kasi, more likely, this is a family tradition or family priced recipe na nakuha pa sa kanyang mga grandma. So, parang ganun yung ginamit niya for the description. So, photographs. Use photographs with great caution. Ang hirap kasi, I think I have discussed this before, yung mga misrepresentation or representation of the menu. Minsan, baka pag nagpakita kasi tayo ng menu, i-compare nila masyado yun dun sa serving. And that's going to be either a positive or a negative parang feedback on that. Use evocative language. Yan. May mga terms na pwedeng gamitin para mapaganda yung menu description. Okay, menu psychology tips. So, use of colors. So, may mga kanya-kanya kasing dating yung mga colors na yan. Okay, they also have different, sa ko yung tinuturo kasi sa feasibility in creating their logos. Paggawa ng logo, sometimes yung color combination has something to do with the appeal of the product doon sa logo. Kaya pag nag-visit kayo yun, isipin nyo din anong ibig sabihin, bakit red, bakit green, bakit black, ganyan. So it has something. So as well as the menu, yung kung anong kulay yung magiging menu. Okay. So, mga suggestions lang naman to. So, psychology of menu design. So, know your audience. So, laging sinasabi. Minsan syempre, kung medyo fast food ka or medyo for the mga laging on the go ka, so your menu dapat hindi siya ganun kahirap basahin at intindihin. Mas madali nila makita, mas madali for them to order. Okay, play with first impressions. Okay, so here we have the golden triangle of restaurant menu design. The middle is where your customers would travel for customer's eye would travel first, then papunta sa right, then papunta sa top left corner. So dapat nandoon sa mga lugar na yon yung pinaka gusto nyong ibinibenta or your mga sikat na products or gusto nyong mabenta. Okay, so setting decoys. Okay, so parang ano to, budol, pang budol. Okay, yung mga medyo mahal na price item, so isama mo siya dun sa mga iba na medyo kahit pa paano is aangat din siya. So yung pricing, yun nga yung sinasabi ko kanina, there is a psychology in pricing na sinasabi. So it's more of number appeal. Okay, it's called innumeracy. So using 0.99, 95, ganyan. Yung hindi mabubuo na 500, 400. Okay, it has something. Kasi parang, ewan ko, feeling yata ng mga tao, yung point na yon will be mas makakatipid. So that's the psychology of pricing. Okay, yeah. So again, psychology of color, psychology of pictures. Kaya lang, be careful with pictures. Kasi nga sabi ko nga, lalo na pag yung action na restaurant na, yung pictures kasi can either make or break the restaurant. Pag hindi ka umabot dun sa picture na yun. Pero kung kunyari talagang picture mo, yung ginagamit mo, iba kasi nangunguha lang para lang mailagay sa menu. Pero kung action na picture mo, yung nandoon, so, tapos ganun mo talaga siya ipe-present or isi-serve, so walang problema with the pictures. Okay, so we talk about appearance, texture, and taste. Okay, so you describe, diba? You describe the food or the ingredients used. Okay, USP is unique selling position. Okay, you'll know more about this in feasibility, pero it has something to do with your parang product statement or restaurant statement. Okay, so yan, meron ulit dito. Tapos meron ulit dito. Yung iba kasi kulang, pero medyo mas focused yung mga items. Pero kaya nilagyan ko siya ng others pa. So menu design. So these are all menu design yung paggawa ng yan. So ito ulit yung kanina. So sabi ko nga, your stars, you have puzzles, you have dogs, you have blue horses. Okay, adjusting your menu prices. So I've discussed naman pricing already. So yan. Okay, you consider this one, menu item placement. Hindi ko siya mabasa. Okay, so paano tinitignan ng mga customers ang menu? Okay, this is the psychology in how they take a look at your menu. So, pag nag-ayos ang menu items, so much better na mayroong emphasis doon sa mga gusto nating ibenta, maigi. Yan, adjectives, mention origins of ingredients, etc. Details. Then, hindi pa.
Harapan na. Harapan na. Bibalik kayo siya.
Sige. Sige ma. Nagbubulungan kami ng nanay ko dito. Ayan. So, mga suggestions lang on how to create your menu. Okay. So, ito yung mga sinabi ko kanina na walang picture yan, descriptive language, etc. Actually, ako gusto ko tong paggawa ng menu kasi siguro may kaartihan ako sa buhay. Tsaka, in taking a look at menu, mas gusto ko yung nandoon nga yung description, lalaban. Ganun ka. Usually, pag HRM ka or in the food industry talaga, syempre, you want to get yung price that you're looking for dun sa pagkain na isi-serve sa'yo. Hindi yung basta describe lang. Sarap. My God. So, yan. Ito yung mga descriptive words if you're going to revise the menu items. So, kunyari, yan, crusty, crunchy, gano'n. Baka yung makuha yung menu is walang gano'n. So, i-revise nyo lang siya. Diba? Sa Tagalog, hindi ko masyadong paano mag-describe. If you want the description as Filipino. Okay? I'm just not familiar with that. Kasi, di ba meron yung mga pinaputok na tilapia, mga ganun-ganun eh. Pinakbet sa palayok, mga ganun. Okay, so again, this is your final restaurant, a sports team bar restaurant. So a Japanese or Korean snack bar, Mexican canteen. Okay, so again, ang main natin dito is the good menu design. And what goes with the menu design, syempre, is yung tamang pag-place ng mga products dun sa menu and yung tamang description with the menu. Kasi we're talking about layout also. So itong mga one-day special menu, so breakfast menu lang, you can either choose from American, Filipino, Continental, etc. Birthday party menu for a 7-year-old girl. So you focus on children's likes on this party menu. Hindi i-exclude natin yung mga matatanda. Sa US nga, pag sinabing children's party, children lang talaga di ba? Okay, so you focus on a menu for a 7-year-old birthday girl. So, Christmas dinner menu. So, yan. You can do a Filipino Christmas menu. Filipino food yung isa-serve, or if you want to go American or Western, so it's up to you. So, same with the New Year's Eve menu. So, garden wedding menu. So, syempre, siguro kasi garden, so medyo hindi siya ganun ka-formal. So, hindi uso or hindi uso na masyadong yung paggawa ng menu. More, baka maybe, kasi, kaya lang meron kasi tayong cocktail menu for an 18th birthday party. So, sa garden menu, so usually, mas lighter siya compared dun sa syempre yung nasa hotel or what na mga menu. Okay, so again, this is done by twos or by pairs. Yan. Pero pag sinubmit po, per person pa rin ang submission. So, gagawin nyo lang siyang pareho. Doon sa menu ninyo, I'll be having a list naman. So, more likely magkakapare-parehos talaga din yung pagpo-post niyo. Para lang pag ginread ko siya, parehos kung mag-grade at may enter. So, mag-upload lang po parehong tao. Okay, any questions po, clarifications? November 30, wala na namang pasok. Any questions po?